You didn't know any better. You might be having a challenging time right now in your life, or you might be examining our world and thinking that's really challenging and a lot of things are falling apart or going wrong and wondering what is happening. And what is happening is that we haven't taken the next step in becoming our authentic selves. We haven't taken the next step in loving ourselves and forgiving everything that went on from the past because that's why we're here. That's how we live. That's how we evolve. And that's how we self actualize. It's a process we each move through. But we also move through it in our society as a whole. We're all connected, and that's what happens. And sometimes we will develop things that we don't understand, or we will see things occurring in the world that we are confusing. But that's because anytime that we live, new things are meant to be developed and new ways of living are meant to come about. And I was given a new way of living. And that is what has been challenging for many to understand or accept, including me, because I didn't know that was going to happen. I had to live it, first of all. I had to live my entire life coming to this greater awareness and then accepting it, which is exactly what you're meant to do. There's no reason for you to continue to struggle and suffer and be afraid and all of that because I was given that plan. And I can say this so many times, and people will look at me and think that doesn't make sense. But when you understand everything is consciousness, everything. Now, some of us believe that there is a greater consciousness. We will call it God or whatever term you might use. I've called it this intelligence, is infinite intelligence that we all have. And it develops as we live if we choose to have that happen. And then sometimes people will do it in a different way. And that's what happened for me. But because of that, it's been really challenging for me because I'm trying to convince everyone else, listen, we can make really great lives and have a good time. We've suffered way too long. That was the first part of my life. All everything that I went through, the suffering, the pain, all of that stuff. And then Wilhelm said, we don't have to do that anymore. So they gave me a plan and it's organized. You see, there's energies in our world that are organized, and sometimes we figure that out. Now, there are other people who have come to this understanding in different ways. You can go to astrologers, Akashic records readers, all of those things. People do it in different way. I sat down and received it every day for 36 years, which is why several years ago I changed my life because I knew what would be occurring and I knew the specificity of it, even in terms of when it was happening. Because again, it's all energy. I just developed this different ability, which I've come to understand as this super consciousness that I wasn't going to really talk about for years. I didn't even want to do channeling or do private sessions because I thought that don't want to be judged. But then I look at everything and I say, I can no longer do that because I don't want you to suffer. And that's what we all do when we hold back. We collectively suffer. And so the message I was given on this day um, said, you didn't know any better. And I'll read it to you. Now, first of all, must understand, I live in Los Angeles. And right now, what is happening is there are troops coming in. The president has decided to send troops in. That's what we're living through right now. And as I read the article, you will understand more. None of this was surprising to me because I interpreted it all. And this is that message. And hopefully it'll help you understand a bit more because you're here in the world now to accomplish something and do something wonderful. And that's within you. And this is the message. And it is, you didn't know any better. You see, it's June 9th of 2020 that this came through. Now you will come to understand why of late we have spoken of the collective you, meaning you individually and the world as a whole. When you examine your life now and that of the world, you will begin to make some correlations and possibly reach a new level of self acceptance. And now we will explain that sentence. Yesterday, Roger was intrigued by the recent discussions, especially in the US, of defunding police departments. Upon hearing those words, so many made decisions as to whether or not they would support such an idea. Roger recognized he was not informed on the subject, but through a bit of investigation, surprisingly, Roger found the premise behind this idea is something we have spoken of often. First, we said you would come to embrace your feminine nature, and by a natural result, leads you to embrace humanity, meaning all of you. We began with the first sentence as we would like each of you to use those words as a perfectly good reason to practice self forgiveness diligently. You didn't know the power you held, but that is what life is meant to provide you. Roger experienced this yesterday and he almost left it out of this conversation as he, like you, tends to deny what might be available to him. Two people who have spoken with us previously connected last night. One called and the other said, "We talked to them without Roger." All of you would do well now to begin to allow yourself to access to your innate power. Roger attempted to leave this message before he did the last thing we wanted, which is to leave the words the one client sent to him in a text message. We want him to use the exact words. And keep in mind, this was after a very short conversation. It doesn't take much time to come to awareness when you are willing. The text message. Wilhelm's lessons and what I took away from this. Get to know yourself better. And the better you align with yourself, the stronger the electromagnetic signals will attract the people that need what you are offering and vice versa. Be true to you, and the rest will follow. You have to package it in a way not to tailor to them or the current people around you, but package it in a way that is true to yourself, and those that it will serve or benefit will come to you. Yeah, I do that a lot. I don't talk about the results. I don't talk about what people have done. And that's been my failing because it was actually quite surprising to me. In 2021, when I first developed the program and put people in there, it was really surprising. That message again was before I did the current program. That was from different information, different material that I was using at that time. I didn't begin the current program until 2021 because I doubted myself. But then people came out of it changed and awakened and in love with themselves and thinking in different ways. And there's a about 2.5 minute video. I'll leave as a part of this. You can listen to it and see for yourself. Because what I'm doing now is I'm changing. What I've done for many years now is try to convince people you can really have this great life and all it is moving through all the blockages. You don't have to be afraid. I've healed everything through this work. It wasn't me. It was this work, as you can see. I'm not there when I'm receiving it. That's a that's a difficult concept for a lot of people, including me, because I can go back and find all the information and the messages that I received that I didn't remember. It was incorporated, though, integrated into me. So that's why at 74, I've healed and I'm going in a different direction, which you could probably do as well if you decided to move. But that's what I'm doing now. I've talked about this. I'm just going to say it because I am the next price jump on my program is going to be the 2,500, 2,497. But the only reason it hasn't changed yet is because I have a new assistant and we're just figuring things out and we're moving things to a new place and all that. So, and if you're interested now, you can come into the program. And it was so surprising to me. I thought, I'm giving people something that could change their lives and they could come in. They'd only have to pay what, $90 a month or something. And people said, no, I'm not going to look at that because I can't get beyond my suffering. And I understand it because I did that. And the reason I'm suffering is because I couldn't accept what I have. You're doing the same thing because there's no reason that we couldn't have this really great life. If you've listened to any of the Wilhelm conversations, some of them, and I go back and I hear, they said, and as you look at the world today, this will make sense because they said the world you want to see is not guaranteed. It's energetic contributions that we each make. There's no one who has more power or ability. It's just sometimes we become afraid. And that's why we've lost civilizations before, as they've said, because too many people were not paying attention. This has nothing to do with me. Your energy has something to do with everyone. And you're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be abundant. And you're supposed to live this really wonderful life. I just had to live this one so that I could give you this work. So please check it all out. And also, I'm going to leave a document that you'll understand why this program is going to $5,000. You'll see what it's going to entail. I created this document a while ago. I'll leave it in the description so you can see. And so if you want to really have the life you want, come into the program now, and you're getting it at a fraction of the cost. And um, you'll hear it from the other people. It's not just me saying this because, listen, I didn't know. You don't know either. You don't know what you have until you become willing to investigate and allow your consciousness to expand and see what you could possibly do in this world because we're unlimited beings. Have a great day. Please subscribe to the channel and share it with others if it's your first time here. All right. See you guys soon.